I spent so many nights sleeping on me, but I finally realized I'm all that I need. I'm that girl, been that chick, never needed no one else. I've been that bitch, plenty on my line, a couple on the side. Maybe I'm a dime, that face card don't decline. So tell me what it's giving, oh, I can tell you're living for this, what you've been missing, boy. Tell me it's the right energy, bad bitch energy.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. How is everybody doing today? Welcome to Astute Queen Bee's Thoughts. I'm Astute Queen Bee, and this is my channel. To my old subscribers, thank you for your continued support. For my new subscribers, thank you for trusting me with your time. I hope you enjoy my channel. Also, I'd appreciate it. Royal Gladiators, please drop some crowds in the chat for yourself. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I think you will enjoy. It's a little different than the others, but that's what I am. I'm very different from others. And mine is pretty simple. Also, it made it easier to do it like this because I have people that work in the morning and they have things they need to do and places they need to go so they can listen right along just like you can do as well. So please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us just know how you feel. Drop some comments down in the chat and let me know what you're thinking and how you're feeling. Today I'm going over something which is much needed and I haven't done in a while. And that's my fault because I was dealing with my own controlling my anxiety. So what I'm doing now is going over chapter 3, conquering overthinking. I am one of those people that overthinks a lot. And it can be a pain in the ass because you will get in a place where nothing makes sense, your days are all confused, and you just don't want to do nothing. Now, if you suffer from anxiety or depression, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel comfortable saying so, should I say. Because I suffer from anxiety and depression. So when my anxiety levels go crazy, I shut down because I can't function. So lots of times if y'all don't see me come live, that is what it might be, unless I'm in the middle of doing something or taking care of my cousin or something. But other than that, sometimes I don't have the strength or the energy to even just click on my phone to do a live because it don't feel right at the time. So when I don't feel right, when my anxiety level is through the roof, I shut down. And I'm trying, I promise y'all, I'm trying to stop doing that. But to me, that has become my best way of doing things is to sit back, be quiet, and focus on what I'm trying to focus on and get things together in my mind as well as physically. Because anxiety can take you from a mental or physical issue. It has so many different areas to controlling anxiety or dealing with anxiety and depression that I can't explain it all because I'm not a doctor, but I can just explain some of the things that I know that certain people go through. And that again is being very, very anxious. When your anxiety and stress and depression kicks in, you you feel like you're stuck stagnant in one place and you can't move. And sometimes that can be a lot because there could be things that you know you need to do, but when it kicks in, you can't do them. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't because your mind is not on them specifically. But let me get into this chapter. I hope y'all enjoy it. And again, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think and how you feel. This is chapter 3, and this has to be done in two parts because it's way too much to be reading and going over to put it in one part. So this is chapter 3, but part 1 of chapter 3. Conquering overthinking. You will get through the sleepless nights, all the internal fights, and the days that seem right when the world hits you with all its might. Breathe. You will get through this. What her name is? Tiffany L. Gainsey, I believe her name is. Apparently, she wrote that back in 2018. Overthinking is the root of all anxious thoughts. The what ifs, why, how, and when are at the base of all doubt, panic, terror, and fear that make up anxiety syndromes. You will learn to conquer your anxiety, excuse me, control your anxious thoughts in this chapter because that is something you can do. You did not know until now. So get ready to breathe and get through those constant internal fights, otherwise known as overthinking. And also, y'all, yes, it's a pre-recorded video. Hit the like button. Let a sister know you came through. And if, like I said, if you're dealing with anxiety, depression, and stuff like that, put a 1 in the chat if you feel comfortable doing so. Because I know there's a lot of us out there, and I am not ashamed of it because it's nothing I can control. So you shouldn't be ashamed of it either because you have no control over it as well. So let me think. Where was I at? Oh, it's all about emotional control, Shawn Mendes style. Let's start this chapter with inspiration from Grammy Award winner Shawn Mendes. He has recently battled with anxiety and is not afraid to accept his emotional vulnerability while making a considerable effort to get his emotions under control. And he is succeeding in starting to radiate a positive vibe that shows the mind is stronger than what we think. The young artist explained he was under intense anxiety, which at one time prevented him from singing, as the physical symptoms of his mental health disorder manifest in his throat, causing a blockage. Never a quitter, Shawn decided to fight his emotional state, and turn to a personal coach for guidance. That is one of the best things to do. Get you a therapist, a psychiatrist, and get you a guidance coach because those things do work. He practiced control and conquered overthinking through daily meditation sessions and breathing exercises. And guess what? He imposed a social media ban until 11 a.m. each day. The singer states his success is taking control of his anxieties, relies on his determination to take control of and become accountable for his thoughts and mental health, and the direction they take daily. Holding yourself responsible for your thoughts and preventing overthinking is what this chapter is all about. If you can draw strength and inspiration from Shawn Mendes, follow the techniques I have outlined here will be a success. What is overthinking? We all are accused of overthinking at some point or another, especially women. You are overthinking this issue. It's probably a sentence you are familiar with, but what exactly does that mean to overthink? Unproductive thoughts that go deeper than necessary and seem on a continuous loop contributing to the term overthinking. In a nutshell, I am talking about the, hold on, ramification worries, a negative pattern of anxiety, anxious thoughts that will ignite a constant worry. In conjunction with anxiety, overthinking is centered on worry that has no proper base. It is a worry that can have you stressing about the past and the future as well as the present. The possibility of this type of thought structure that seems to be on a continuous loop has no solution. It is an exaggerated and baseless type of hopeless worry, overthinking and your blowing your worry out of proportion. Hmm. Sadly, overthinking stems from one of the most vital and beneficial traits, the power of our brain possessed to handle different and complex thoughts simultaneously. Overthinking is the same as anxiety. It is one of our protective mechanisms, warning us about decisions or actions by making us think about the pros and cons of what we are about to do. It is that little nagging feeling in the back of your mind telling you to be cautious and think more deeply about what you are about to do. However, this auto mechanism, which occurs when your mind starts analyzing several different thoughts, angles, a decision you are about to make, becoming your enemy when you begin to think beyond reason. Rumination worry steps in and takes over rational thinking. Otherwise, it is important to understand that overthinking is a protective mechanism that allows us to prepare for the future and establish fail-safe plan. The reason anxiety turns into a mental health disorder is mainly due to constant worry, and that worry has its root in overthinking. Just like worry that stems from anxiety is baseless and persistent, the rumination worry that causes overthinking on a constant rewind session is also baseless, a signal that is not well with your mind. You start to sabotage your relationships, your career, and family life when you're overthinking your present situation. You see problems where there are none, eventually creating situations that justify your overthinking. Perceive yourself in a negative light, and it's going to reflect on your overall well being and quality of life. A mother who has lost confidence in herself and sees herself as a failure will not be the inspiration or the strength the family needs. If you consistently, oh Lord, sorry. If you consist, if you constantly worry about events that are yet to happen, whether you are short or long-term issues, you are setting yourself up to deal with overthinking about future events. Again, if anyone comes in the room, yes, this is a pre-recorded video, and I would appreciate if you would hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. I think that you all will enjoy these. Like I said, I'm going over controlling your anxiety, different techniques to deal with them, because a lot of us deal with anxiety and depression. Oh, my leg. Sorry about that, y'all. Let me get back to reading. So please hit the like button. I truly appreciate it. Let's see. Can I be, wait, what? Can I be dealing with overthinking issues? Your habits of overthinking happen automatically. Your brain is constantly making conscious and unconscious calls concerning your decisions. Overthinking may not raise red flags for you initially, and your analytical power will be perceived as a problem-solving ability or one that helps with self-reflection. However, there are limits to how far you can take both characteristics. Suppose your problem solving process continues after the problem. In that case, you may go into an endless worry about an event, dredging up the incident and refreshing it in your mind until you finally turn into a minor matter into a major anxiety for you. That is not problem solving. If your self reflection becomes an obsession, it becomes self derogatory. You indulge in negative self talk and endless worry about an aspect of yourself that you are not able to change or control beyond the normal parameters of self reflection. It's a fine line between self reflection and analytical and overthinking. For most of us, the habit seems natural, and you simply label yourself a worrier. That label may be accurate, except it is not something to be taken lightly, because what you could be is a chronic overthinker or a chronic worrier. I think that might be me, y'all. I don't know. What y'all think? A chronic overthinker will go deeper than is natural into their thoughts, thus experiencing stress and anxiety on many different levels. The condition will lead to sleep disorder disruptions, affects your health, relationship, and work. Being a chronic overthinker prevents you from experiencing life the way you could. You become nervous, overly cautious, doubtful, and make decisions. You become obsessed with the past and are fearful of the future until your anxious thoughts weaken your mind so that you cannot cope with life's daily stress. Each one seems doubly troubling and beyond a solution for you. This type of rumination worry is primarily fictional, but for you, it is genuine and damaging stress that never ends. Here are some signs that could indicate you are an overthinker. Pay attention, everybody. Your mind hits the replay button for you to keep you viewing specific incidences, often unpleasant, repeatedly. A lot of what ifs and whys follow those reruns. Number two, similar to rethinking incidents, you can't seem to stop thinking about past events, comments that are disturbing or stressful. Number three, you become obsessed with the factors that are beyond your control. Mm. Number four, rethinking conversations over and over, wondering and analyzing what people said and did. Number five, you are doubtful and constantly second guessing your decisions. Number six, you will envision and accept the worst outcome. Number seven, you even try to look for hidden meanings in what people say and did to try and justify your doubts and distrust of others. I think that's number seven. You stay up all night thinking about problems, and you may even wake up at odd hours and start worrying about past, present, and future events. Next, you move your worries along into your future and turning a problem that can be resolved now into a long term issue that you envision affects your future. Or you connect to your past and keep rethinking events you have no control over. Hmm. Creating problems through overthinking and then liking, then linking them to the past and future events can become highly stressful and result in you having to deal with mental and physical ailments. Depression, anxiety, and stress do not affect the mind alone. You can feel their effects physically. Extreme fatigue, headaches that don't go away, lack of concentration where your mind cannot focus on one task, feeling nauseous, and having appetite changes. You may suddenly lose your appetite or look for comfort food by overeating. You develop sleep problems. Hmm, that sounds almost about right. Left unchecked, overthinking can do a lot of damage. Become more conscious of your thoughts and behavior. You must identify the times you go too deep in your head. When that realization hits you, stop, take a breath, and rethink the anxious and stress you are building over your obsessive analysis of a problem, event, action, or past conversation. Accept and let go of your problems you cannot change instead of trying to find other aspects in connection that you can manipulate to ease the situation for you. Decide on letting go of overthinking thoughts for which you have no solution. When overthinking turns into negative self talk and anxiety, when you can become your worst critic, it's hard to escape the constant negativity. Dealing with anxious thoughts is challenging. You are constantly suspicious, stressed, and depressed about general issues. Plus, when you add negative self talk to those anxieties, it becomes unbearable. That's a fact. Have you ever stayed awake in the night, overanalyzing your behavior? Why do I end up partying so hard? Second, guessing. Questioning yourself. I shouldn't have not, or I could have, or what if I had not done? Those types of romantic worries will go on in an endless loop, making you feel inferior, a failure, and less confident. None of it is true, though, and comes from your negative self talk. Therefore, you can stop that type of thinking and overthinking your negativity to realize how special you are. The negativity you are generating about yourself is trigger that sets off your anxiety or may even lead you to developing anxiety syndromes. The more you encourage negative talk, the more power you give those anxieties to grow and, and fester. Once triggered, it is hard to overcome the panic and constant worry that follows. That worry also links your negative thoughts to past events, replaying scenarios in your mind and making you sad, disappointed, and regrettable. You do not deserve to put yourself through all that. That type of negative self talk is based on your thoughts with dire consequences. Hold on for 1 second. Sorry about that, people. Let me get back to reading. Okay, the more you keep telling yourself you are incapable of particular actions, the more convinced your mind becomes to think you are incapable of the action. It's an it's as if your negative thoughts manifested itself into a reality. Your relationships start to suffer. You become increasingly dissatisfied, analyzing and trying to find hidden meanings in what your partner or friends say or do. You become highly critical and overly expectant. Anticipation, the type of behavior you associate with the perfect relationship. You start you start wanting perfection, good enough to simply no good anymore. You want things to be exceptionally perfect. You begin to test everything, to try and zero in on what you believe needs fixing. You are no longer happy with being just a higher achiever. Depression sets in because the pressure of constant striving for perfection and analyzing relationships and relentlessly criticizing yourself will certainly not leave much room for happy thoughts of self satisfaction. You suffer from low self esteem and may even indulge in behavior you regret later. Your mind and anxiety go beyond your control, and you become a prisoner of your negative thoughts. As bleak and dark as negative self talk sounds, you can teach yourself to overcome the habits of indulging in that behavior. But first, it is essential to understand why and what causes this type of negative behavior to manifest in the first place. Let's see. And again, anyone coming in the building, please hit the like button. I would truly appreciate it. Why do we indulge in pointing the finger at ourselves? The root cause of negative self talk. Emotions are hard to let go of. We need time to overcome disappointment or sadness when we get hurt. But out of all those emotions, the type that we find the most difficult to overcome is self derogatory feelings, guilt, blame, and shame. Such emotions remain like an unpleasant aftertaste in our minds until we can work through our thoughts and feelings to finally overcome the negativity. Sadly, when negative self-talk is a dominant characteristic, emotions such as shame, guilt, overgeneralization of problems, and self-blame remain and fester, causing us suitable emotional wounds. Let's not forget mislabeling, otherwise known as global labeling, which is part of our modern society. It is the act of categorizing an individual, allocating their characters to a label based on one sided analysis of who they are. All these conditions, coupled with your constant lack of self esteem, leads to negative self talk. I'm not just good enough because the reasons are endless and how many can list. Those reasons are called cognitive dis- distortion. A, a false perception of yourself becomes true. Aggravating thoughts that are not factual. Cognitive disorders are common and acceptable on a reasonable level, but not when they are all part of a constant negative self talk. Let's say you get invited to a party. Perceives that invitation negatively, ignoring the simple fact that you are likable and wanted at the party. Instead, you entertain negative thoughts. They invited me out in sympathy, or I was asked only because I'm Allison's friend. No one will talk to me even if I go. Yeah, we ain't doing all that. Your mind is trying to make you see yourself in an unappreciated negative light under aggravating and distorted circumstances that are not good or beneficial. But just like constant negative thoughts can be damaging when you allow them to take over your rational thinking pattern, consciously putting a stop to a disruptive and self degrading idea can help you overcome your critical analysis of yourself. Let's see what we got left. Like I said, I'm not doing this all. Common types of cognitive disorders you may experience. Let's see what they are. Let me see. Dwelling only on negative. When your mind filters out all positive reasoning to dwell on the negative, it's called filtering. You forget all the good aspects to focus on. That one negatively. which you embrace and feel miserable. You score much higher than expected on challenging exams. Your teacher commends your performance and tells the class about your outstanding achievements. When you leave the class, you are called aside and gently told to try and improve one aspect of the subject to bring your overall grade to an exceptional level. You leave the classroom with your mind dwelling on that one comment about where you must improve, not on the high score you achieved or the praise your teacher publicly gave you, but on the one aspect where you were asked to improve. In doing so, your mind has filtered through all positive thoughts to find that one negative emotion to blow out of proportion and focus on creating anxious thoughts, over rationalizing or making a mountain out of a molehill. Whew. Such negative cognitive disorders can take place when you overanalyze a general situation. For example, let's say you make several suggestions at office brainstorming sessions. Still, none of them were accepted, and you leave feeling personally scarred, scolded yourself for making such a suggestion that made you look mediocre. Perhaps many others may suggest that did not get taken up, but your mind blocked them out to focus on your rejection. You even use the negativity to generalize the rest of your situation. I will never be good enough for a promotion, and nothing ever works for me. Can you see how much negative thinking can cause you to suffer unnecessary anxieties? Personalizing Personalization of general issues where you voluntarily take the blame. You voluntarily accept the blame even when you are not directly connected to an incident. The cognitive disorder you are dealing with makes you think it was all your fault, even though there is no way for you to be directly involved. With this type of distortion, passing the blame onto someone else also occurs. Connecting another person act to make you think the two are connected and therefore affected the outcome of what happens to you. Yeah, no, I'm not taking the blame for nobody else's mess. Accepting blame that is not yours. Your child getting hurt at a basketball practice could have been avoided if you had only advised them more about being cautious. Yeah, no, I ain't gonna take that. Passing the blame. If your partner has not worked late last night, you could have woken up in time for your important job interview. Okay, no, I'm not doing that. Thinking everything is all or nothing. Polarization. Let's see. This will be the last of part one. Um, Here we go with the bull. Let's see. The cognitive disorder can damage your well-being, your relationship, and personality can suffer greatly. Let's say you are best friend with someone, but suddenly you learn that they spent their weekend having fun with someone else without letting you know first. Although you were out of town that weekend and would not have been able to join them. Shady people. You would then cut out that person from your life for being sneaky and accusing them of hiding their close friends with mm-mm, close friendships with someone other than you. Oh, that's crazy thinking. It's an all or nothing type of negative thinking that can quickly destroy relationships and your self esteem because, in turn, you go around establishing almost unattainable high standards for yourself. Jumping to conclusions. A common trait of overthinking is overanalyzing a situation and then arriving at a negative conclusion, even though there is no evidence to support your beliefs. Such thinking causes more damage and anxiety when reacting to that ugh, perceived conclusion. Jumping to conclusions can be very disruptive to a relationship. That's facts. Not taking responsibility for your actions. This cognitive disorder makes you think that others are to be blamed for your actions and how you feel. You do not realize that you are, in fact, in complete control of your actions and thoughts. Instead, you go on to believe that outsiders influence your beliefs and behaviors. Their distressing actions towards you cause you to feel sad, disappointed, and angry, resulting in you being unproductive and acting out at work, home, etc. Becoming predictive of future outcomes and seeing them in a negative light. You assume and conclude what the future will involve concerning a specific activity. Your mind perceives the problem, establish how it will work in the negative context, and sets the outcome. It is not, it is no use. Wait, that don't sound right. It is no use my applying for the promotion. Others are better than me. I will not get it because my ideas for the company will be dismissed. Therefore, I am not going to apply for the promotion. You become your judge, jury, and give yourself the verdict, leaving you no choice of envisioning success without successful outcome for that event. My apologies, y'all. I'm tired. Making a massive issue of an even minor problem it's catastrophic, but catastrophic. I can't say it. Whatever the hell. It's part of catastrophe. Whatever. I can't do it right now, y'all. You assume the worst of everything. Everything is seen as a catastrophe because you keep imagining the worst outcome. Proper reasons go out the window when you start to assume things in a negative context. What if they decide I am not good enough for the promotion? What if the dress I order arrives too late for the party? What if my car breaks down and I miss my interview? You deal with many negative thoughts and what ifs simply because you see the negativity in events above positivity. While cognitive disorders can sound disturbing, you probably identify with some of the examples I've listed here. It is possible to overcome this disruptive overthinking. Cognitive restructuring is a successful method of dealing with the damages caused by these negative thoughts and can be done by resetting the way you think and perceive a subject. Let me introduce you to some easy techniques that you can adopt. You don't feel like doing that? I'm going to do it and I'm going to finish this book. Matter of fact, I'm just going to read you the titles and they'll start off at part 2. Cognitive restructuring, overthinking your cognitive disorder, identifying your unique cognitive disorder, and questions your assumptions could be wrong. So, that first part of chapter 1 is completed, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is called, I will be doing chapter 2 over tomorrow. Chapter 3, part 2 tomorrow. And again, this is called Controlling Anxiety. Use these 13 techniques and discover how to improve communications in your relationships. Like I said, a lot of people suffer from anxiety, depression, and everybody needs an out. So, if you're needing that out, take some time to stay to yourself and have a conversation with God as well. Besides just going through that book, have a conversation with God, because that's your healer of all things. So don't be so down on yourself. The world does enough of that in its own. Learn to be peaceful, respectful, and learn to love on you first. Because if you can't love you first, you sure as hell can't love nobody else. So take the time to work on you inside, not outside, inside first. Fix that. Then take the time to go to people that you have wronged and apologize. If that's what you feel you need to do, do that. But don't allow anyone to disrupt your peace, to make you feel you are less than, and also let them know you're a child of God. So, I hope y'all enjoyed chapter 3, Controlling Anxiety. And I will go over the second part of chapter 3 tomorrow. So with that being said, my beautiful people, I wish y'all a blessed day, evening, morning, whatever it is to you when you watch this. But again, like I said, leave a comment down below. Let me know that you came through. If you deal with anxiety or depression, put a 1 in the chat. And to all my royal gladiators, drop some crowns in the chat for yourself. With that being said, y'all, it's the Stu Queen Bee out. Deuces.
I spent so many nights sleeping on me, but I finally realized I'm all that I need. I'm that girl, been that chick, never needed no one else. I've been that bitch, lady on my line, a couple on the side.